Hello, and welcome back to our 5-year land playthrough of RP-1.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, so I started our Mars probes integrating.
Hmm.
Second one ready the 9th of November. Our launch window is the 12th of November, so we have the right number of days to roll it out.
Yep.
So that's pretty
Seems
cool.
to be going to plan.
Yep.
Hopefully, we have not jinxed it by not simulating those.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're playing as Russians. I mean, if you crash a probe into a moon or
Particularly
Mars,
Mars. Let's be.
it's kind of appropriate.
Yeah, I was sad, but not necessarily surprised, but sad to see Luna 25 go the way Luna 25 went.
Hmm.
All right, so Mars flyby queued up. Um, okay, I guess we might as well just warp until that's ready. Start it rolling out. Switch launch complex. Switch pads at the launch complex.
On a plus note, India's orbiter was sending some really good pictures out.
Cool.
They had some high resolution shots of Apollo 11 and 12's landing sites.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
So everybody's saying India's in on it too.
Yes. Such a vast conspiracy.
Yeah, massive.
Yes, I mean, admittedly my favorite flavor of that is that the move landings were faked, but Stanley Kubrick was such an auteur that he insisted on shooting in location. Let's get the second one of these ready. How are we doing on efficiency? We're at max efficiency, so I'm going to rush just a little bit. Just to tighten up that. Oh, no, no, I want to start my tracking station going, actually, rather than doing that.
Yeah, you said you still had some time, but probably best to start it and then, or have a little window on it.
Completes on March 30th, 1965. Arrival is September 65. Oh, yeah, no, we don't have to start it yet. We don't have to start it yet at all.
Hey, squirrel.
Hey, squirrel. See what rushing is doing to our budget. Nothing good. Because, yeah, we have to be able to afford. Oh, only rolling out one more of them, so it's not a problem. Yeah, that's fine. So, I wanted to be a little early. Now, the question is it better to go early or is it better to go late? It appears that it is better to go slightly early. So let us do just that. That's marginally more expensive. Arrives 13 September. The other one also arrives 13 September. But this arrives 12 hours earlier. However, we're going to have like a day or so of slop on the window because we have to launch to a specific LAN, which means we have to time our launch, which means then we have to change the LAN to match the time of the launch. Iterative process.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's warp until ready.
What was the LAN you had? Sorry, what was the inclination you had to launch to? 32 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's 32 for the canonical window, but we'll see what it is for this one. For this one, it's 28.72. That's even better. All right, so let's get rid of that. Let's launch. We have accepted the contract. I checked a few minutes ago.
You did that early last time to avoid the issue.
Yes. Yes, I did that last episode. Okay. Now, transfer window planner. Okay. So, it is November 9th. Okay. So 29:51. It's in 22 hours and 44 minutes, and the LAN is 71.07. That's in 6 hours. Which means, given that that's in 22 hours, we either need to go 18 hours back or approximately 24 hours ahead.
Not necessarily.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
You already know what I'm thinking. Great.
Yeah, I'm wrong about my orbital geometry again. 29.74. 71.02. Still in 6 hours. Yeah, what you're thinking is launching to negative inclination with a land 180 degrees off.
Yes. Precisely. Glad I don't have to talk at all.
That said, I think I would rather wait the extra day.
Sure, that works. It's a Mars window. They're not that precise.
Okay, so that's 20 hours. This is 7102, 2970. That's pretty good, actually. 21 hours versus 20 hours and 13 minutes. So we want to be marginally. We want to be at 10 November, 11:38. That's pretty good. 75. 9.78. That's in 21 hours, 9 minutes. Okay, so that's within 10 minutes. Which means we will be just spending a few meters per second extra, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I want to scroll this ahead a little bit because our land will vary because we're going to insert a little later. So let's do that instead. 74, 9.79. You can see this is making a huge difference. 21 hours and 8 minutes.
Well, I don't know. Given the margin you ended up with for Lunar Mapper 1.
Oh God, yes, that was
gonna matter.
nuts.
That extra 2 meters per second of delta V is going to be what saves you.
All right, and I want to show ejection angles here. And the desired parking orbit is like that. Let's do it. 200, 200. The settings that we've used for the lunar launches are fine. We'll stop at stage 3. Else is fine. Let's go. Turn on override warp to plane, and hopefully that will mean that we actually launch correctly. Yes. Sweet. Yeah, I don't know why the Kerbal Constructs decals are Z-fighting so badly. I assume it's something about flip precision.
Just look at the pretty dawn rather than the ugly ground.
Oh yeah, it's dawn. How nice. Thank you, Lamont, for adding the override warp to plane so that we can actually do land doglegs finally in PVG. So good. It also is a workaround to the bug with launch to land warping.
Anybody have a word on when, or if maybe it already works, Blackrack stuff will work for RSS?
My understanding is it does. It's just you have to subscribe on Patreon to get it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, there's also issues with Scatterer and RSS still that aren't fixed.
You should give you a free copy just to advertise.
Yes, with my vast audience of like 10 people.
You know,
Every little bit helps.
can dream, right? Or heck, get somebody, some of the people who keep trying to get you to do a Patreon to then use it.
Yeah, set up a Patreon chain. But yeah, if you do have that, like Ballistic Fox has some rework stuff, although it requires nuking, like replacing RSS and a bunch of other things. So I can't swear to compatibility, but it has reasonable compatibility. It also needs like an awful lot of RAM and an awful lot of VRAM.
We just missed the first demonstration of Mav's code there.
I mean, I was looking at it.
Yeah, but didn't call it out.
I did not call it out. They popped very aggressively.
They did. I think a little bit too aggressively, to be honest.
Yeah. Happy little probe. Oh, it automatically deployed my antenna. I didn't actually want it to do that until I deployed my solars. Leader retired. Ah, Glushko retired.
Lazy jerk.
Retired to spend more time with his engines.
rehire him specifically or look at other options.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good, given what I actually research. But, I don't know. I feel like going on to... oh, it redeployed it after I closed. Ha! That's hilarious. Like, I like it... Generally, I like it deploying. It's just it hits these. So, whatever, it's fine. So ordinarily Milton Rosen would be decent, except that I want to milk crude lunar for all I can.
Was Glushko in your, I thought he was your chief scientist, not your administrator.
Chief designer.
Right.
So yeah, I forget who you're right. Milton Rosen is the administrator. Yeah, I forget who else is the chief designer. Max Fajay is, but like it's not really relevant to my existence yet. Coming up on terminal insertion. Okay, let's see. Get kicked. Huh, even with the... That's so weird. I looked at it in debug stuff and it looked okay. So weird. Anyway, let's go to Mars. So our orbit seems to pretty closely match the desired orbital track. So that's nice. On the other hand, we have to go all the way around the world to our ejection point, which means by that point our orbit will have varied a little bit.
45 minutes? It shouldn't be that bad.
You underestimate the amount of precession. So add a maneuver in about 45 minutes, the man says.
I don't see the handles. Where are they?
Me neither. Oh. That's why.
So your T initial says in a day at 1 day 21. That's that. What's going on there?
Oh, because I put 45 hours, not 45 minutes, probably. Somewhere around 3580. We want this to be somewhere around there. Let's switch to MSO frame. So the claim is 3585. We will presumably need a little bit of binormal because we've assessed.
Can you get your ejection angle from analyzing it in Principia? When you analyze the trajectory, can you get your ejection angle? Will it tell you?
I don't know. Maybe, but I think it just gives you the ephemerides for the solar orbit.
Okay.
And travel time is 305 days, give or take. So let's do 310. See how close we get. What's the actual travel time that we want? 305. 305 and 3/4. Oh, wrong way.
Yep.
Scrub time this way. That's really fairly close, all things considered.
Yep. Go to MCI.
I mean, I think looking at this in MSO is fine. It's still giving me the data I need. Okay, what if I just... Oh, all right. Yeah, so the ejection angle is not quite correct somehow. There, that's getting pretty good. We're only a little bit excess.
What was it that MacJeb told you? Oh, sorry, the transfer.
3588.
Oh.
So honestly, being only 30 meters per second off is pretty good.
Yeah, because that was a patch conic.
Yeah, it's patch conic approximation.
Yeah. Seems like you still need a little bit more prograde.
No, it's... You'd think that, but prograde is actually working counterintuitively here.
Really?
Like I need to change the time a little bit. Because remember, we're not on a heliocentric reference frame. We're in Mars solar. So I have to vary the time and then chunk some prograde in, and then it's okay.
Yeah. It just seems like your AP is not high enough to get quite to Mars, even with the spreading the time around. But
yeah.
That's looking pretty good.
Okay, and then let's add a little normal and see if we can play with our AN. Oh, too far. Okay. That's when within 100,000 kilometers of Mars, which honestly is pretty great.
I think you still need like a tiny bit more prograde.
Yeah, but if I give it some more prograde, look what happens. Oh, for some reason it worked this time. When I was doing it before, it was not.
Because the QA tester was there.
Yes.
And now a tiny bit of binormal and you're all set.
So binormal is actually pushing it out. Cool.
Well, binormal does add energy.
Yeah.
Just not much.
All right, we're going to have to do some kind of mid-course to correct our plane on approach. But yeah, if we look at MCI,
I think if you just doubled the amount of binormal you added, because your binormal was helping, it was just you had too much prograde once you added the binormal. No, the other way.
yeah.
-70.
-70, you think is?
Or maybe that. Guess you were closer the other way. So you were at -100 or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, that's within 10,000 kilometers of Mars.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The plane is poor.
Yeah, I guess like you said, there was precession.
Well, no, I mean, it's so transfer window planner makes no promises about getting an equatorial Mars arrival.
Oh, sorry. You meant the plane was poor for this arrival plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you meant the plane for the departure, which is why you have 100 meters per second of binormal.
Oh. Yeah, no, there's also that. That's also true. $6,000 kilometers. Yeah, if we're correcting, basically we're correcting the precessed
Yep.
plane. This will fix our ejection a little bit. There we are. That's looking good. 274 kilometers. That's pretty nice.
Yep. And you were willing to accept 100K. Didn't
Yeah.
trust yourself enough. Nice job.
Thank you. Now, I think this is actually slightly wrong because I think I actually want my DN to be further out. Because if I try to change planes there, it's going to be real expensive.
Yeah, I don't think you'd want to change planes
So,
there.
yeah, we'd want to change planes at some other mid-course time. But for now, this is fine. Because I'm perfectly happy with one of these being polar. As long as I can do Phobos and Deimos flybys with the other.
Yeah. But I mean, the plane issue is due to misalignment with the planes of Earth and Mars.
Yeah.
And not for this particular transfer window.
Yeah. Okay, we are now vertically aligned. Get horizontally aligned. And then I'm going to have to rebase and play around a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens. Oh, wow. Basically nothing. I was very gentle in my reorientation.
I think if the next time for the next probe, if you pick a transfer where the launch inclination is as close to Canaveral's latitude as possible, you'll get a closer to equatorial arrival.
Yeah, I think so. The real problem is just we want to perform the maneuver as soon after entering orbit as possible, because the proper way to do this is to launch to figure out how much our orbit will have changed by the time we arrive at a rejection point, and then change our initial conditions such that we'll arrive at the desired ones, which in reality you just do with a supercomputer or a lot of people with slide rules. But in this, there's no built-in tools to predict that. So yeah, we're coming in faster than predicted, which means our capture will be more expensive than predicted. It's a 297-day transit instead of a 305-day transit.
Yes.
Good thing we packed a lot of delta V. That said, it's really only going to be about 20 meters per second more expensive to capture.
Yep.
So I don't really care.
Yeah, Ectos hyperbolic obviously gets minimized by the gravitational well you fall into.
Okay, now perform the burn. See how close we get in terms of the burn, which is also going to be a problem. See what we get.
Hard to know how fast you're really going with those MCI relative numbers.
I mean, we can look in CI. Another thing that I'm thinking about is that I don't recall, I may be supposed to be doing this inertially fixed. Because I think this assumes that you follow the frame as the frustum as your orbit changes. And our thrust is low enough that that may result in us being off.
Okay. Makes sense.
Like if it were pure prograde, I could just lock on prograde and manually perform the burn, I guess. Although I wouldn't trust myself to shut it off.
Let's see how off we are, but yeah, if inertially fixed means what you're telling me it means, then yeah, it seems like the better option. It means essentially that your pointing vector for the maneuver didn't change as you went around. Yeah.
Yeah, although I think Principia may update the maneuver node angle.
Okay.
I'm not sure. That's the thing. It's been so long since. That's the other MCI. There's the one we want. See what we get. 14 seconds left. Hell yeah. Welcome. Shut off. We got somewhat close, but not quite. We look at MSO.
Looks like the can't actually see how all the way there.
Yeah, it's like our plan isn't long enough. Yeah. Okay, I'm super confused.
Yeah, why is the purple line not as long as the dotted line?
Yep, that confuses me greatly. So let's set up a maneuver in 5 minutes and give it 0.1 meters per second of prograde. Then rebase. And it claims that we're still on target, basically.
Did you expect the 0.1 meters per second to throw you off?
No, I'm using this to verify that the prediction is actually correct.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, so that's now out there. So the good thing is our periapsis is real close to the DN.
Yeah.
Which will make it very nice to plane change. The downside is it's way the heck too far away.
Yep. And if you brought it in, it would go back under Mars.
Yep.
Or above Mars, I think.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so we underburned by 0.7 meters per second.
No, probably less than that. It's because you're 5 minutes away from Earth already on the departure. You've lost some of Earth.
Yeah.
Kind of actually significant, as you're already probably like 1,000 meters over Earth. Sorry, couple.
400 meters, 400 kilometers.
Yeah, 400 kilometers.
Not a ton.
But it's also in 5 minutes. So and your vertical speed is over 2 kilometers per second.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, all right. I think I want basically nothing here other than this. That's good enough. All right.
Yep.
Squirrel, in fairness, there were a number of Mars probes that got close, had later failures. So we'll see. All right, now I get to orient to the sun. Once the Earth goes out of eclipse. There we go.
No, Mr. Bond should send you some of his South African liquor then you can simulate the Soviet experience.
All right, now we're oriented to the sun. Just fine. We rebase. What do we get? Didn't make that much of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know what? That's fine because we're going to want to do a course correction anyway.
Yep, it'll be minimal.
I want to try that and see what. Nope, wrong way. I mean, there is an argument for having one of these be highly polar, the other one focused on the moon, the Martian moons.
Mm-hmm. Let's hope the other one we can get it to be closer to the equator.
I mean, I have faith that with a course correction we'll be fine. Even on this one.
Sure, you've got so much delta V, you could also fix it in Mars orbit.
Doubtful. Have to perform a very low Oberth capture.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reasonable way to fix it.
Yep.
Okay, that's even faster. That's down to 294, but it's fine.
Or you could do a very minimal capture and then circularize it high. Do the thing we did at the moon. Then fix your inclination and then lower.
raise periapsis again. That's going to be super expensive. I don't think that's viable. That was only viable at the moon because it was cheap to do.
If you do a minimal capture around Mars, like your capture puts you like with an apoapsis of 1 million kilometers out. Circularizing it 1 million kilometers out from Mars is not very expensive.
Yeah, but the point is then you have to raise periapsis.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Raising periapsis when you're 1 million kilometers out from Mars is not very expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, but you certainly wouldn't want to circularize.
To do a 45 or 60 degree
Yeah.
inclination change? Yeah, you do.
But that's like 1,400 meters per second.
The inclination change?
No, the going from a 200 kilometer periapsis to like a 1 million kilometer periapsis.
No, it isn't. Let me find out. There's got to be a circularization calculator that lets me change the planet.
That's weird. Oh, there we are. Why is my RCS not firing? That's set to UDMH and NTO. Oh, because it's not enabled yet. That was concerning. But we're fine. We're fine now. All right, the real question is, do we want to try to put both of these in equatorial? I think we do want to keep one of them polar, and we might as well have it be this one. I mean, let's just, sorry?
Yeah, since it's already close to polar, why not?
All right, so let's give this a little tiny bit of velocity. See what we can do. Okay, that's very close to purely polar. I don't think it needs to be that polar. Like 85 degrees is fine.
Mhm. So at 1,000,000 kilometers out from Mars, your orbital velocity is 206 meters per second,
Yes,
circularized.
yes, I agree with that. But if our original periapsis is 500 kilometers, it's however expensive it is to go to 500 kilometers by 1,000,000 kilometers. And then you raise 500 kilometers up to 1,000,000 kilometers.
Yes. But if your periapsis would be, if you were, so you've got an orbit that's whatever, periapsis is close to Mars and the apoapsis is 1,000,000 kilometers. When you're out at 1,000,000 kilometers, if like if the periapsis was in the center of Mars, your orbital velocity would be zero out there, right? Because there's no relative velocity. The most you could have to add is 206 meters per second.
What?
To raise to get to circularization.
No. No.
Yes.
Let me look at this. So high orbit height is 1,000,000.
Yep.
Okay. Velocity at perigee at peri-Aries is 4680 meters per second.
Mm-hmm.
Velocity at apo-Aries is 18 meters per second.
Right. So you have to add 206 minus 18 to raise the periapsis. So 188 meters per second to raise that periapsis from whatever you calculated to 1,000,000 kilometers.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
And then you have to wait a month, of course, to get to the DN and then fix it there. But then it's another 200 meters per second to change the inclination there. And then you lower your periapsis, which is another 188. And then the actual capture burn is
Right.
expensive, but no more expensive than it would have been to do the maximum capture when you were at periapsis before.
Yes, I now see the geometry in question. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so let's look in ECI. That's radial.
Hi, Vlood.
Hey, Vlood. Nice work on the AJ10 stuff, by the way. All right, let's see what that did. Getting close. That's polar enough for me. All right, cool. Now we're good.
It's really good.
Spin up again. Delete the maneuver. Let's add a capture at 294. 17 hours. Okay, that brings us right the heck down. All right, so I think what I want to do is do something like, what's space high and low at Mars? Something like 5,000 kilometers, I think.
Yeah, shouldn't you be able to check the body info to find it?
Probably. Nope. Resource, orbital parameters, and text info. Nothing about science.
Uh,
Well, I'm pretty sure it's like 5,000 or 6,000.
it's 3,000 kilometers.
Oh, it's Venus. That's the other way around.
Yeah, Venus is 6,000. Yeah,
Okay.
it's on our wiki.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sure it's on. All right. Question is, do I want to bother to do 2 burns or not? I feel like I can probably get away with doing 2 burns and it's totally fine. Because this is planned to be a 555-second burn. That seems a little much.
That does, yeah.
Okay, that's only a 6 minutes and 45-second burn. And that becomes a 12-day orbit.
Maybe we'll get super lucky and that DN will pass close to Deimos.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, it's going to happen eventually, right?
Yeah, if you hang out in that orbit long enough.
Yeah, and tweak apoapsis just the right amount. Then yes, it should occur. So yeah, we'll do this over multiple passes. Anyway, this thing is on its way. Let's make sure that we do something about it 30 minutes ahead of the maneuver. And to go deal with Mars 2.
Seems like you're getting faster with the Principia stuff.
Yeah, gradually learning / stuff is coming back to me. Okay, we've got 1 day and 20 hours before that window. So let's advance a little bit of time. And send Mars 2 off into space. Oh yeah, and I was going to start, well, I guess I have time
Or which?
to do the Voskhod thing.
Oh.
Because the astronaut complex has to come online first before I can do an EVA. Something's funny. What happened to Orbital Flight 3?
Yeah, I was curious
Oh,
about that last session.
yeah. Also, it looks like this didn't get regenerated properly. Let's see. Failed to open Flight 3. File does not exist. But I just regenerated my game data project based off the files that do exist. What the heck? Orbital 1 exists. Earth crewed advanced. Requirements. Program active. Oh. Interesting. It says program active, crewed orbit, and complete contract orbital flight 1. So it should be available. Going on? None of the optionals are showing.
Check CC debugging? I don't know. They're
Yeah.
not showing up. They must have.
Yeah. That's not great. What's wrong with you? Errors encountered while trying to load the contract, but what are the errors?
Contract type orbital flight 1.
Oh, accept contract. It has a problem with accept.
Yep.
doesn't like Crude Science Basic.
That was a new thing you guys added, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah.
Stupid me dripping this without checking this, but oh, because it's called Collect Crude Science Basic. Yeah, I just have a typo in all three of those contracts.
Do you want me to fix that?
I just did.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I get to release a hotfix. Fun. This is the reason why I wanted to release this weekend.
So I should have said something yesterday when I saw they weren't there. I thought it was maybe your program was shut down, but that wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah, no, I didn't notice that it was not there. All right, let's completely regenerate this project file and see why on earth it wasn't letting me load those contracts. Yes. Oh. That's extremely weird.
VS not letting you open a config file?
Yeah, I'll deal with it later. It's no, it's in the project. Its Visual Assist is not recognizing it correctly. That's super weird. It's like, how do I make Visual Assist reparse the project? Let's see. First time I've ever seen that happen.
Yeah, that's weird. Although I use Notepad++ to edit contracts, so
Yeah, there's something screwy with Visual Assist where it doesn't notice the change in the project. Extremely strange. Not going to spend time on this. Right, so at least we now know what is wrong with those contracts. So on the assumption that we will be able to do that right, let's load up.
did you build a VOSCOD earlier?
Not yet. Okay, the service module is the same in either case.
capsule is practically the same too, so.
Okay, airlock. Okay. Place this here. Parachute goes there. Okay, so what is this for? Backup retro unit. I don't really understand what that's for.
Was there a Voskhod failure where the retro didn't work?
No. Surprisingly, there were no Voskhod failures, which, given the general insanity of Voskhod, was
It says that because they added more crew, the natural deorbiting, which was the backup, if the retrograde failed before, the astronaut would just sit there until it naturally.
Yeah, although they didn't actually supply enough life support to do that, but that was notionally true for Vostok.
Yeah, that's the claim, that on Vostok that they would have had the 10 days.
Yeah. So on Voskhod they hit the backup retro.
Yep.
In case the main retro failed.
How big's your fairing gonna be to accommodate that airlock?
Gonna have to be pretty chunky.
Yep.
It's gonna be ruinously expensive, isn't it?
Or find a way to cut a hole in it like the Russians did.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could claim that there's a hole in it. Do that.
There you go. Claim there's a hole in it. I mean, that's what you would see from the outside of it.
Yes.
Sort of. Like, I think it would be even more form-fitting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Simple enough. Okay. Like the human-rated launch complex. Sure. It's like, do I even want to unlock this, or do I just want to wait for Soyuz?
I don't know how expensive is the unlock.
I mean, it's only 4 months until I get Soyuz. It's 100K for the unlock.
Seems like waiting for Soyuz.
Although some of it I think I would have to pay for Soyuz, because I think that some of that unlock is EA.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might as well just wait the 4 months and just skip this.
Do Farside Lander instead for one thing, and I guess you've got another.
There aren't any more Farside Landers.
Okay.
There was only the one optional.
Right. Sample return was the other stuff you could do.
Yeah, which guess I could do, but all right, so that saves me 50K, and I can wait for Soyuz for that. So I could just fly a 3-person flight on this to get some confidence, given that I have no other way of grinding confidence right now.
Yep.
So at 47K, I think it's probably worth it. Let's look at our delta V. Our delta V still looks pretty reasonable. Yeah, our delta V is fine. And that's the old RD-109. All right, so let's go ahead and start this thing going. And put all of you in. Look at what's going on with our budget. Our budget is still quite positive over the course of the month, especially once we lower astronaut complex to complete only when Soyuz completes. In docking, let's look at docking and crew transfer and see if there's anything truly necessary for Soyuz. First generation. Soyuz docking port. For RCS blocks, and then some minor upgrades. That's 375. Where's unlock info?
Man, your science really shot up.
Yes. Yes, having something in low lunar orbit makes a huge difference.
Yep.
Unlock requirements. Doesn't say anything about ECMs. It's weird. Does it not have any?
Seems weird if so, then it sounds like it'd be misconfigured.
Yes. Entry cost modifier is capsule Soyuz. For that one, so where's... Okay, so 50K, okay, SA and dock. Okay, so yeah, the ECMs for the Raider neck parts are weird.
Somehow I'm not surprised.
I mean, we configured them, but yeah, it's been a while. So there, that looks better. That requires capsule Soyuz. This requires part name. Okay. It claims that the entry cost modifier is capsule Soyuz for this. It's just not showing up in practice. So we'll see. I'm going to save before I unlock any of that stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I now have more science than I know what to do with.
I'm very sure you'll find a way to dispose of 400 science.
All right, I will get the RDO 110. There's nothing in 68. Huh.
Yeah, there's nothing in 68.
69, there's an upgrade to the RD-254. That's actually useful. Nothing useful there. Rated power, that's going to be useful. More science. Landing. Improved lunar landing. Oh, it needs 95. Okay, sure.
Yep. You found a way to get rid of 400 science. I had faith in you.
Yeah. Yeah, we just need a little bit more science, and then we can... why was I getting mature capsules in? Oh, for the 7K, okay. And then the lander as well. So I was gonna I was going to probably just use the Landercan version.
Yeah, it is weird that the lander can is half the price of
Yeah.
a historical lander.
Yeah, we need to, by we I mean you, should definitely look into that stuff along with the other
I am
service
looking
module
into that
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, no, that's super helpful. All right, so we can push Astronaut Complex back until 429, 520. All right. Why was I getting early life support? There's been some reason.
Mm.
Oh, the EVA jetpack. That's why. So we can actually EVA without risking disaster. Okay, that's all good. So at long last, let's actually fly the other.
Yay! Rocket.
Yes, actually fly the rocket. Um, yes, that's getting science, so we'll be able to unlock the next thing.
Yeah, you're at the point that science is actually giving you a good chunk of confidence too.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Didn't even notice.
Yeah, I think last time we looked, you were at like 7,200 confidence,
Yeah.
and now you're at 8K.
Yep. 81K. 8.1.
Kind of nice that it's gone. The transfer point between I need science just to do research has kind of not it's not there anymore. But now it's giving you decent confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, although I would rather tune it so that you're not super abundant in science and we just get more confidence from the science you get.
Yeah, fair.
Because like I hate having 2+ years of cute research just hanging around. I feel like the choices you're making are so far from impact. Although there's a lot of things we do where the choices you make are so far from impact, but like in these you're not actually locked into those decisions, so they're not actually meaningful yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's plan Mars again.
Well, I think your idea of lowering the science available at the moon makes sense. Having some more science available from crewed flights to compensate and keep you doing science in Earth makes a lot of sense.
76. Yeah, we do need to do that rework. 19 hours and 31 minutes, and this is in 17 hours and 21 minutes. So we need something that's ever so slightly later. Something about 10:30. That looks fine. 3150. 7017. 19 hours and 28 minutes. 19 hours and 9 minutes. Okay, so we want like 1040. Eh. Oop. Try that. 19 hours, 33 minutes. That looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, let's hope the insertion inclination is correct.
Yep. I have a feeling we're going to be basically in the same position as last time. I don't suppose you remember what inclination and land we ended up at.
Before departure? No, I didn't even look.
Yeah, me either. Hey, our flag isn't doing the flickery thing. It's cool.
Yeah, your launch pad is also not flickering. I mean, below
Yep.
the launch pad.
Yeah, for some reason we're in good shape.
The water tower still looks like a Cylon, though.
Okay. I guess I've been muted for a little bit. Was saying, I guess I was considering doing the thing you suggested of inverting the LAN and launching to the south, but I was worried it might put us further afield of the ejection berm.
Well, that was only really so that you could launch the two rockets more closer together. Like
Yeah,
you
back to
really
back.
committed. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you launch one north and one south, you're
yeah
not very far apart.
think for this one we should try to, when we're developing the trajectory, try and get closer to the predicted duration of flight.
Yeah.
I think because you're arriving earlier than expected, that's why you're ending up a little high. Just kind of like
Yep.
what happens when you're going to the moon.
Yeah, which I assume means more binormal, less prograde.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it just means more tinkering in Principia because we haven't done enough of that. But it could actually mean more programmed, but a slightly later departure maneuver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you catch dawn again? Looks like your rocket just caught the sun.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we're basically launching at the same time of day each time.
Yep.
Because this is very similar. It's the same land, it's just a slightly different inclination.
Yep. Squirrel, there's only the Saturn line engines, which would be what would be your early engines for that career?
The question is whether you count the LR-79. I think you probably should.
Yeah. Yeah, count the LR-79, I guess that makes sense. Seems a little beefy to do your sounding rockets with, but sure.
Yeah. I mean, Squirrel, I'm not really seeing how this differs from a broadly traditional US campaign. I mean, Atlas engines are basically the same family, so I don't see why you'd exclude Atlas. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like if you count if you count Apollo as part of the Saturn lineup, then you got the AJ-10. And Jupiter is very clearly part of that lineup, given that Saturn 1 started as Super Jupiter. So yeah, you have XLR-41 to XLR-43 in the Redstone engine configs to LR-79, S3D on Jupiter to H1, AJ-10 upper, and then RL-10. So yeah, it's mostly the engines you'd normally use on a US campaign anyway, just none of not the LR-87 or LR-91.
You're missing a key engine there. Yorubi.
Well, that's the grandfather of the AJ-10, so you're still on the line.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, let's see how much we spin. The usual amount.
Yep.
So weird.
always in the same direction too.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Okay, so 31.51, the LAN was 70.17 or something.
Mike jump got you pretty close.
Yeah, but the issue is what are we going to be like over here?
Yeah, from looks like you're losing a second of land per second.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I should just launch into a rather higher LAN. We need, let's go with 310. Mm. Okay. So we need a strong binormal component.
Hold on, my cat's doing something. Be right back.
Yep. You know, I'm going to see what LAN we end up with.
Okay, back.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
I'm
Sure.
going to see what LAN we end up in and then launch to that so we don't have this issue. So we're increasing our inclination and decreasing our LAN. Oops, I warped past it. So you want to go to like 31.48 and 71, I think, or 70.8.
Well, you looks like you lost about a degree of land.
Yeah, but I overwarped.
Okay.
Okay. Fluid, what do you mean the old C3 with no double F1? I thought the old C3 was the double F1 version, and then I went to 3 F1s. Are you talking about like the C2 where they put like the S3 stage on it with 4 J2s that ran for only 2 minutes? That was pretty crazy. All right, so we want to go to like 40. Six and 8. Try that.
No, Mr. Bond, the only other option really is to do a hodgepodge of US and Soviet and dip British if you really feel like it for a bit, although it's not long-term viable. You can do some stuff with British engines.
Okay, let's see how this works.
My last campaign, about a year ago, I was playing with launching my orbital rockets on casters with British upper. Dropped from an SR-71, essentially.
Yeah. So Squirrel, what you're describing, like if the French had started earlier and their engines were moved up, that is literally what RP-1 has. I mean, the Viking engines are in the late 50s, despite them debuting in the 70s for exactly that reason. Same with the Gammas, which are in the first orbital 56, 57 orbital rocketry node, despite actually being late 60s engines.
Anyway, my point was you can do weird stuff if you feel like it, but sticking to the Soviet and American strategies makes sense because it makes sense. Like, the engineering makes sense, as it should for a simulator.
Yeah. Yeah, what I was talking with Kirk about is if there's any way to have a speculative version of the LR-105 that was airlit, such that you can have something other than a 1.5 stage to orbit launch vehicle that's not a Thor-able. Or I guess a Thor Gamma.
Yep, I was air lighting gammas, so
Yeah.
radial sustainers? That's weird.
Radial sustainers? I know of the early Atlas concept with like 7 boosters and 2 sustainers in the center, but I wasn't aware of any radial sustainer concepts. Okay, let's insert.
I guess in some sense it could make sense to drop the entire back engine unit off of, and then have the sustainers be outside of those.
Yeah. Or some weird like 2 layers of drop. All right. Let's see how this works.
What was that reusable rocket concept where they were going to drop off just the engines and then have them fly back on propellers?
On
It's kind of
propellers?
like that. Yes, on propellers.
Hmm. That doesn't ring a bell. There's a bunch of drop engine concepts, but of like a propeller based one.
The Adeline was an Airbus concept. I can link it if you want.
Hmm. Yeah.
I only remember it because I had the same idea once.
Reality needs optimization.
Yes.
Okay. That looks closer. Still not super close, but it's closer.
Yeah, I think last time you had like 262 or something like that of prograde.
3622, yeah. Okay. Then enough of everything else to get to 3628.
I think you just need more prograde. In other words,
Sorry?
I think you just need more prograde.
Yeah, and then I need to futz with the time. That's 305 days, so that's broadly
It does
correct.
seem like it's coming in more equatorial.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't think that much binormal is necessary. I think you're why it's getting closer just because it's adding energy at that point.
Yeah, but if I remove the binormal, I think it just gets worse.
Yeah, it does, but but put prograde back in because no, now adjust the time.
Yep.
Definitely much more equatorial though.
No, not really.
You don't think so?
I get no, I get.
I mean, now you fixed the binormal, of course. Like now that you have the
Yes, the binormal is moving it that way. That's interesting. Okay, now it's reconnected.
yep.
That was weird. Well, it looks like Twitch had a hiccup. Okay, so yeah, I really need to be putting less energy into this. To keep my 300 and something day transit.
Yeah, I agree, and I think
Sorry?
oh, never mind.
All right, so that puts us somewhat close to Mars.
Yep.
Keeps the DN at Peri-Aries. Although, again, we're coming in angled, but that's fine. Correct that. So what I guess I want to look at is, instead of doing it the other way, what if we did a minor course correction?
Sounds reasonable.
So let's add a course correction about 50 days out. And this should be HCI. Now what happens if we put a little prograde in? That's much nicer. 50 meters per second is pretty cheap given how much delta V we have.
Yep.
And we don't have to worry about correcting our plane because we can do it close to apoapsis, given how close the DN is to periapsis. What if we move this backwards? Do we get more or less of an effect? Get less. Move it forwards. Looks like that's kind of the optimal time to do that course correction.
Yep. Had a pretty good guess right from the start.
Yeah. All right, so it turns out that normal is actually what's going to be correct. Looks like. That makes sense. Oh, nope. Or why normal was having such an outside effect for me before.
Because it was doing a good job fine-tuning.
Yes. What if we do some binormal here? That's excellent.
Seems like you should do some more. The binormal was flattening your trajectory pretty well, so.
I don't think it's flattening it much. It's just shifting where the DN is.
Not the other way, more negative. Right, like 3. Let's see what that does. It did seem like it was flattening it to me, but.
Yeah, it's flattening it some. Oh, yeah, it is. You're right. Okay. Only issue is no, it's not actually doing that much. Yeah, I think we're better served just doing that. I have to get it back somehow. All right, let's take this out. Do that. Okay, what does this do?
295 days again.
Yeah, but that's fine. All right, let's optimize our course correction time. But let's see. Okay, I guess we're still getting gains bringing it earlier. So I put it too late. So man, I really guessed close at 50 days. That's amazing.
Yep.
That's that's weird. I didn't expect to be that close. Okay, and 500 kilometers is fine. Now let's alter this a little bit. Tighten that up. Good enough. And we're basically back to where we started. Okay. And that's cheap enough course correction that I really don't have to worry about it. 15 meters per second. Also, chat, if you can verify that you can see this again as well. Small. Okay, let's orient. Cool, thanks, Flute.
Are you orienting for the maneuver?
Orienting for the first maneuver.
But That's in 50 days. Don't you want to orient to the sun?
I haven't done my TMI yet.
Oh, the first one. Yeah, sorry.
It's all good. All right, let's see what that did. Next to nothing. Good. That's what we like to see. So, let us perform the maneuver. See how close we get.
I wonder if not being inertial fixed is one reason you're typically underburning.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to try doing inertially fixed for this one, but I didn't.
No big deal.
Interesting. Okay, so the fact that we're consistently moving means that we are tracking, so not having inertially fixed on is correct.
Okay.
Because we do have some pitch and some yaw. And it's consistent. It's not twiddling around the maneuver center. So yeah, I believe that running without inertially fixed is the correct move. Okay, let's see what we get. Whoa!
That's definitely undershot.
Yeah. Crap. And because there was another node.
Yeah, might jump through you at the other node.
Yeah. Well, conveniently, we know that our ejection was quite close to prograde, so we'll just realign with prograde. All right. So now let's go back to MCI.
Kind of weird that the purple line is not extending that far.
Yeah, I don't know why it's only going out that far. All right, so I think we just have to rebase now and see what we get. And then just keep burning.
Well, it's getting closer, so that's good. Kind of below your prograde vector, but yeah.
Well, that was my MCI prograde vector.
Oh, okay.
This is my ECI prograde vector, but it's still kind of the same deal. Interestingly, that ECI and MCI were aligned in that instance. Might have almost been worth doing a second burn instead of trying to finish it on RCS, because we do have some delta V left.
Well, this is why you stuck the better RCS thrusters on too.
Yes, this is one of the reasons, because where the heck are my tanks?
They're
there. Oh, we still have tons. That's cool. This is indeed why I stuck the better thrusters on. Getting there.
Yeah, not bad.
$153 megameters. I mean, we probably should do this as part of the course correction, but whatever.
I mean, this fuel is free, so.
Right. Oh. Getting close, but.
Yeah, it looks like you're gonna have to redo the course correction.
Yes. But that did. That went the wrong way. Okay, pretty much cardinal. All right, let's see what burning this way goes. All right, so let's try tweaking this a little bit. And it's just going to end up more expensive. Okay. So yeah, that didn't actually make that much of a difference in terms of the expense of the course correction.
No.
Cost us a meter per second. It's fine. All right. I'm satisfied. Let's get rid of that stage. Get some sunlight. Oh yeah, also.
Set alarm for the maneuver.
Oh, we don't even have comms. Well, I have to wait till sunlight and reorient and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Those. Okay, now we have a little bit of sunlight. Let's turn towards it. This does actually look fairly Soviet.
Yeah, it does.
All right, let's see if that did anything to... Yes, yes it did. That's interesting. It meant we could make this a little bit cheaper. Not by much, but a little bit. Okay, that will do. Okay.
Don't forget. Yeah, there you go. Never mind.
Yep. So yeah, we needed to do that too. But yeah, now we have a course correction.
Yeah, this one's coming in way more equatorial, so
Yeah, the plane change will be pretty cheap because we'll be able to combine some of it with the capture.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can do more of it at a higher apoapsis.
yeah, the rest of it will do.
Yeah.
There. So yeah, that's pretty great. It's in 33 days. I need to start astronauts training for that mission. which I should have done before I launched that. Wait, why can I only stick 2 in it?
I thought you could only ever stick 2 into a mission training.
No, you can
Okay.
stick as many people as in the capsule. Do we have some weirdness where Buscod can only take 2 people?
No, people have been complaining about that forever if that was the case.
I mean, Kirk may have just redone it to reflect the crew capacity 3. That's extremely confusing. Yeah, crew capacity 3 in both cases. So why was mission training limiting me to 2? Mission, Buscod. Yep, sure enough. Also, 61 days. Yeesh. Definitely should have started training earlier. Yeah, there's something deeply strange about that. Why does it say 2 remaining seats? Also, why is it showing things I haven't actually unlocked? That's also a bug.
I thought you could do proficiency training for
You
things
can do
that were...
proficiency training for stuff you're researching. But once the node is researched, you should only be offered stuff for things you've actually unlocked. Maybe that was a
okay.
change. Maybe that was a change made so you could start training before you could afford unlocking it.
But you haven't unlocked... Sorry, which stuff do
Like
you have?
Mercury and Gemini.
Oh, Mercury and January. Yep.
Yeah, that shouldn't be there. See, if I go to Vostok mission, 2 seats. If I go to Buscod mission, 2 seats. If I go to Gemini, 4 seats. So there's some bug about Buscod that is making it think the capsule only has 1 seat. Oh, I bet I know what the bug is. I bet somebody linked it to the airlock too.
And it's taking the minimum?
Well,
Or
it's
just
probably
the
just
first one's
taking the
fine?
first one or something.
Yeah.
Buscod, let's see. Is yes. Yes. Somebody put the yeah. That's a bug and we should take the max. Well, that explains it. Okay, cool. Always fun playing and developing at the same time.
I'm going to leave you an issue for that one.
No, I'm just going to fix it when I finish. Which,
Okay.
speaking of which, it being rather late, I think I'm going
Yep.
to, that's a good stopping plate. So I think I will call it here.
Yeah,
Thank you
good
for
call.
joining,
Good night.
and thank you everybody for watching. I will catch you next time. Night.